For this tutorial, you're going to need wool roving. I've chosen a light grey to work with. You're going to need a sponge to work on. For this, you can just use a simple kitchen sponge and your felting needle. I've done this whole project using a single needle. If you have a multi-needle tool, then you could probably work the body up a little bit faster, but I used just a single needle throughout the project just to show you that it is possible. It's always a good idea to use a needle holder with your needle if you have one. If not, it's also possible to do it with just using the needle, but the needle holder just protects your hands. To start with, you're going to layer your roving. You do this by laying the pieces at right angles to each other. Punch a few times and then you can lift your work up and tuck in the edges to make a round shape. Remember always to lift your work as you're working so it doesn't get embedded in the sponge. Shape and move as you work your fibers together so that it doesn't get stuck in the sponge. You can add little bits of roving to areas that you want to build up as you're working. So for example, the base of the body where the tail is going to be. So to shape the teardrop shape, so the part where the nose is going to be, just keep on stabbing felting as you move the mouse body around. When you're happy with the shape of the body and the fibers are all secured, you can begin to felt the nose. For my little mouse, I used black roving for the nose and ears and eyes. To start with, pull off small little pieces and roll them between your fingertips to shape them. Start with the nose, stab felting it into place. You might find that you need to switch to a finer needle to get the fibers to mesh together nicely. To get the eyeballs ready, take small little pieces of roving and roll them between your fingertips to get them into little balls. Make sure both eyes are the same size. I usually do the ears before I add the eyes, but I like to shape the eyes and get everything ready. You're now going to start shaping the ears. So shape the circles at the same time so that you know they're the same size. You can fold the roving over itself to form the shape of the ears. Remember to lift and move the felt off the sponge as you work so it doesn't get too embedded and you don't get little bits of sponge stuck inside your work. I leave one of the edges of the ears, just the very edge, slightly less felted than the rest of the shape. And that allows me to felt it to the body easily, just easier to attach it. You can carefully, So remember to felt very carefully around the edge of the ear to help it to hold its shape. This will also make it not quite so flat. It gives it a bit of depth. Just got to be super careful not to punch your fingers, obviously, because it's incredibly painful if you get one of these needles in your fingers. I speak from experience. So once you're happy with the shape of the ears and the size, then you can attach these to the main body using your felting needle. So you're literally just stabbing it in and out, and then doing a few stabs at the back as well to make sure it's nice and secure. Once you have your ears firmly felted into the body, you can felt the eyes into place just beneath them. You might need to hold the eyes in place with the edge of your fingernail or the tip of another pin while you do the first few stabs, the felting stabs, to establish the connection to the body, and then gently felt them into place. Be careful not to stab too hard when you're felting the eyes in, because otherwise you'll make a dent in the actual face. For the tail, I've used a small piece of hand spun wool. I untwist the end a little bit to give myself a bit of surface area to attach to the body. Then you felt it securely into place using a felting needle. I like to take a small piece of roving that I was using for the body color and felt it into place over where the wool, the top of the tail joins the body. And it just makes it look a little more natural. And there you have your little hand felted mouse. So this project took me about 15 minutes to complete, and this time may vary according to your experience with dry felting. But the more you practice, the faster you'll become. And it's great fun. I hope you had fun, and please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. Thank you!